All right, you guys, what is going on? This is your boy Town Biz, doing the bare minimum, that word women famously love to use to try to, dismiss and diminish anything that a man may try to do and attempt to get to know them better, always trying to diminish everything. But I just wanted to use that terminology, which I got a series of videos where I'm going to be talking about stuff like that. So, look out for my video series called Shaming Tactics. But nevertheless, that's neither here or there. But let's talk some boxing. So, of course, you guys know it's the month of July. So it's going to be a lot of boxing going on this weekend. It's a lot of boxing coming up, I think, within the next couple of months. Up into the big showdown with Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. So, we got a lot of boxing coming up, but if I'm not mistaken, we got boxing every week for the rest of this month, if I'm not mistaken. But I just want to tackle a variety of different subjects, while I'm on my way to work. So, I almost forgot that this was fight week as far as Usyk and Dubois Part 2. Now, we all remember the first contest where it ended in controversy with Usyk basically stopping Dubois later on in the fight, but people believe that Usyk should have got a stoppage knockout of Usyk. Many people believe Dubois threw a borderline body shot that for Usyk, he wouldn't have made the 10 count. Some people said it was a low blow. Some people said it wasn't. To me, it looked like it was like right there. I don't think it was a low blow. I think it was just like right there. So to me, based off the fact that it was right there, he should have got the benefit of the doubt. So some people believe he should have a knockout victory over Usyk instead of, in reverse. Now, I give Usyk credit. He ran it back. He's running it back due to the fact that Daniel Dubois looked so good versus Anthony Joshua, where he beat Anthony Joshua to a pulp. I'm gonna be honest with you, that was the worst I ever saw Anthony Joshua look in a fight. I'm talking about he got pummeled. The punishment and the way he got beat down in that fight, a lot of people thought that Joshua should consider retirement, but Joshua is going to fight on. So what do I think happens? What do I think happens in the rematch? I think, listen, I would like for Dubois to pull this off, but Usyk has just proven to be too good. Nobody has not figured out how to beat this guy legitimately. Not Tyson Fury, not even the people that have gave him fights. A lot of people thought when he moved up to heavyweight, he was in over his head. But when you think about it, it was funny. People were saying that the dude was too small to move up to heavyweight, and this dude is 6'3", 6'4". And I find that amazing because most of those fighters back in the 80s were, Jerry Clooney was 6'6". And, I've met Jerry Clooney a couple of times and I've interviewed him and stuff. So, but you started seeing the emergence of these gigantic, like 6'5" guys, when Lennox Lewis came along, Lennox Lewis being 6'5". Then you saw the Klitschko brothers being both like 6'6" and stuff. So Usyk is considered a small heavyweight, but he really isn't. And then, of course, Tyson Fury being 6'9". But I do think, going into this fight, I do think that Usyk will probably win. I think it could be possibly the same results. It could be another stoppage. Unless Dubois has really did some research, looked at past fights. Because one thing about Usyk, he doesn't do the same thing over and over again. Because the funny thing is, he was even more dominant of Tyson Fury in the second fight than he was in the first fight. Now, some people believe the first fight could have went either way. Some people believe that Tyson Fury won. But Usyk kind of reminded me, Tyson Fury won kind of reminded me of Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano's one, where Katie Taylor, just the last quarter of the fight, she just like turned it up a notch. And I think that's how she got the nod, which led to her winning 2 more times. So I don't like to make predictions, but probably in all likelihood, Usyk will beat Dubois again. How he beats him, we'll have to see, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets another stoppage. But then again, maybe Dubois is going to show us something in this fight that we didn't see in the first one. So, you know, I'll put it to you this way. In all likelihood, I'm expecting Usyk to win again, but I'm not going to be floored if Dubois pulls this off. But we'll have to see. You know. So, David Benavidez went against the boxing green. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I really think it's a joint effort that's going on in boxing. I think everybody is in on this, not to talk about PEDs and stuff in boxing. And I think a lot of people see what happened with Devin Haney, and a lot of people are scared to talk about it. It was very few that called out the PED use. And you heard every excuse in the book. And then, like I said, thing that's been pissing me off, you know, Devin Haney has been making his appearances, and then you got these morons referring to him as a bad guy, which that doesn't make no kind of sense. That's like a dude like stealing from you. That's like a dude going into your house stealing like thousands of dollars and items from your house, jewelry, whatever, money, whatever, valuables. And then basically he get caught and you put him in jail, and they mad at you for putting him in jail. And they vilify you, saying that they can't stand you, and why don't you just let that's basically what they're doing. The way they were saying, oh, well, you know, the amount that was in the system wouldn't have made that big, like you guys know, like you guys are that's like saying, well, you know, he only stole like $20,000 worth of stuff, so it's not like it's a big deal. What can you do with $20,000 in this day and age? Like, I'm just saying, this is how like illogical a lot of these people think. A lot of these people just think ass backwards. A lot of people think the worse you are as a person, the better that makes you. You know? So so that's basically the scenario, you know? And I just find that rather amusing. But I really think it's a joint effort that's been going on in boxing, where I believe that these fighters have been getting phone calls and texts from everybody involved, the sanctioning bodies, saying, hey, really, let's not make a big deal about the steroids. Let's try to downplay it. And David Benavidez basically said, hey, man, what the hell is going on? He basically said, hey, man, if I had 6 or 7 people in my camp test positive for PEDs, I would have been suspended by now. And the fact that Eddie Reynoso is tied to all this suspicious behavior. Now, he's saying he wasn't the trainer of the last guy, but nevertheless, it still keeps happening. What about the other 6? Because at one time you eventually did train with them. And then Eddie Reynoso said, well, you know, now on, I'm gonna be more careful of who I deal with and be more hands-on and all this kind. I'm like, stop it, man. Stop it. Ain't nobody trying to hear that stuff, dudes. Please stop it. Don't try to turn on your moral compass now. And this is what people are saying. And then the question is arising, and more people need to put pressure on Eddie Reynoso. They need to put pressure on everybody involved. And that includes Dana White. That includes Turkey. That includes all parties involved. Why can't we see Canelo's testing results? Why doesn't he post one of his testing results online? To give the fans some kind of relief that he's doing this the right way. And for people to sit up there and say, oh, he doesn't have to, he should. Technically, he doesn't have to, but to give people a sense of relief. But at the end of the day, we all know that a certain group of people don't care, just like they didn't care that Ryan Garcia tested positive as long as the black fighter loses. And don't come here with this stuff about, hey, Town, why are you making this about race? Come on, man, let's not play these fucking games. We know that this is about race. This is about tribalism. This is about flexing online and flexing to another group of people. But like I said, if we do it, it's a problem. And Rob Parker is right about that. People always try to shame us. I'm going to say this again. You damn right I'm rooting for Terrence Crawford because he's black. Yep. Sure am. And not finna feel bad about it. Because like I said, if it's okay for Filipinos to root for Manny Pacquiao because he's Filipino, fine. If it's okay for, white Russians or other Eastern European fighters to root for their guy, then why can't I do it? Why do I even have to sit up here and explain this to y'all? Once again, I'm gonna say this again. I don't have to explain myself to y'all, especially if you don't look like me. You can't tell me what to do. So if I can racially flex in peace and want to do it in peace, I should be able to do it. I don't get mad when people say, hey, I'm rooting for dude because he's Mexican and stuff. I forgot what fight it was, but Mario Lopez was entering the facility. I forgot what fight it was. And they asked Mario Lopez, who was he rooting for? He said, well, I'm Mexican, so I got to root for the Mexican. And Mark Consuelos said that too. The actor that's married to, what's that lady's name? I forgot what her name is, but she hosts that show, Kelly Ripa. Yeah. And I forgot what fight they was going to. I think it was a Canelo fight, and they asked him who he's root for. He said, hey man, I'm Mexican, so I gotta root for the Mexican guy. But then, if a black dude says it, they'd hear everybody come, you can't do that. Why can't I? Not only does he get back or pushback from people that don't look like him, you even have black people trying to pull that shit. And that makes me believe that you are a coon and that you are a coward. I'm gonna tell it how it is. And I forgot Paul Pierce. They asked him about an upcoming fight because Paul Pierce follows boxing a little bit, and Paul Pierce said, "I'm rooting for the brother." And some people had an issue with that. So I'm supposed to root for a non-American or non-black, but they'll say I'm racist. So I mean, for real. But these are the same people. These are the same people that's rooting for Caitlin Clark because she's white. Okay, cool. If you want to root for Caitlin Clark because she's white, like you, fine. I have no problem with it, and I said that in another video. But you don't have to tear down black people as a whole because you want to root for Caitlin Clark because she's white. You go, hey, more power to you, bruh. For real. I'm just saying. So yeah. And some people believe, this thing with Canelo. The funny thing is, people say, well, Canelo don't have to post his test results. But these are the same people that's already accusing Terrence Crawford. Listen, this snack thing is played out. Once again, Robert Garcia has quite a few fighters that's in the snack program. But y'all ain't, but they Mexican, so y'all ain't accusing them of suspicious behavior. Only the black people that use snack is using PED. So I guess we the black people getting the PED versions of snack, but the non-blacks are getting the regular snack. Nah, they getting the same stuff that Terrence Crawford is getting and using the same stuff. It's just, like I said, it's just basically a double standard. That's all that's going on. And let me talk about something else too. So, of course, Saturday is also the highly anticipated return of Manny Pacquiao, who hasn't fought in 4 years since taking a drumming by, Ugas. And I mean, Manny got beat bad. I was at that fight. I mean, he got beat down pretty bad. And then Ugas went on to, get beat up by Spence. Even though he had some moments with Spence, but he ended up getting beat up by Spence. So, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to keep it 100. If Manny Pacquiao wins on Saturday, I haven't looked at the betting line. I haven't looked at who's the favorite. If Manny Pacquiao happens to win on Saturday, I've been told that Floyd Mayweather is going to be in attendance. If Manny Pacquiao wins on Saturday, you could possibly hear the talks or serious talks of a Floyd Mayweather Manny Pacquiao 2. A lot of people believe that they're going to approach Turkey about Turkey putting this fight on. Now, the question is, would Turkey be willing to spend money on a fight like this? I really feel that this fight is basically, 9 years too late. Because the thing was, Floyd was going to run it back with Manny Pacquiao in a rematch. But Floyd was so pissed at Manny Pacquiao for basically making excuses about him being hurt and all this kind of stuff, to where Floyd was like, you know what, fuck this dude. I'm not fighting this dude again because he's making excuses. And then I think Floyd, they could build this fight up because Floyd could say, hey, when he got inducted to the Boxing Hall of Fame, and say, hey, I wasn't worried about records. I fought all it like Manny. Stop it. And I basically felt Manny didn't even have to bring up Floyd Mayweather's name, because at the end of the day, we all know what happened when Floyd got a hold of you. Floyd dominated you. So I believe that serious talks and discussion about a rematch is going to come up if Manny Pacquiao is successful and he looks good versus Barrios. I'm going to say this again. If Mario Barrios at age 30 loses to a 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao, he seriously should consider retirement. If he loses to a dude that hasn't fought in 4 years, he seriously should consider retirement. And that's just how I feel about that. I don't know who's going to win the fight. I'm thinking Barrios should win this fight. And I like Barrios, cool dude. I done hung around him, his whole family, when he used to be training at the Virgil Hunter gym. Funny thing is, I'm not too far from Virgil Hunter's gym, like where I'm at right now. I'm about maybe 10 minutes away from it. And the funny thing is, it's a shortcut I could take to go to that facility too. I am literally not too far from it. And I ain't gonna put the exact location where it is and all that kind of stuff. Cause see, quiet is kept. There was talks that Floyd Mayweather was actually going to fight Mario Barrios instead of Manny Pacquiao, but Floyd didn't like the type of money that was out there for him. But if Manny Pacquiao goes in there and dominates, looks good, and even stops Mario Barrios, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if a deal is already in the works. Listen, here's the thing with the PBC. The PBC, they just don't have the money that Floyd is looking for a rematch. But Turkey does. So if Turkey can make this you know, who would be the A side? Of course, Floyd Mayweather would be the A side, because Floyd Mayweather retired undefeated and he beat Manny Pacquiao. So if this is one of these, let's just say the purse is a combined, let's just say the purse is a combined maybe $50 million, 30 for Floyd, 20 for Manny. I think Floyd would take it. I think he would seriously take that fight. But I can tell you now, Floyd is not going to fight somebody like Mario Barrios for no $2-3 million. Floyd is the type of dude that want, 20 and up. Now, there isn't what he made versus Manny Pacquiao, the first fight. There isn't no 100 million for him or nothing like that. But I do think 30 for him and 20 for Manny Pacquiao, yeah. I think Turkey would be willing to do that, and I think Turkey could put together, I think he could put together a very solid card. Now, when would this fight happen? Probably probably looking at I'll say if this was going to happen, you probably looking at probably December or November. Maybe as early as like I said, maybe as early as late October, latest between maybe December and January. But I do believe that a Floyd Manny Pacquiao 2 is in discussions secretly, and I believe that Floyd is going to say, hey, let's get it on the second time. But the thing is, Turkey is the only one that's going to have the resources and have the money that would be willing to be able to put up the finances and the resources for this fight. And here's the thing about Floyd. I can tell you right now, Floyd ain't fighting in no Saudi Arabia. I can tell you that right now. He's going to insist that fight is in Vegas. So, yeah, we're going to have to see. We definitely gonna have to see. But yeah, I do think that's in the cards. Now, if Barrios wins, then you could talk about possibly unification and all that stuff down the line. But I do think if Manny Pacquiao wins, you're gonna see the talk of, well, let's have Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather too. But we will see. But nevertheless, just wanted to get a quick video up there, discuss a little bit of boxing. Once again, shout out to Shakur Stevenson for his performance versus Zepeda, And I'm going to say this about Tank. They're saying that Tank has officially pulled out of the fight. And you hearing that Team Roach is going to move on. So like I said, I already discussed some possibilities, and they really should look into that. But anyway, appreciate you guys. It's your boy Town. I'm out.